Have you ever asked yourself why you always try to live rightly, live kindly, live morally according to the standards of a good person in society? Perhaps the reward lies deep within the mind as the peace, happiness, and harmony of each person. And when you look at Buddhist monks walking for peace, how are they different from us? Since they walk in difficult conditions and own nothing, yet they remain peaceful and happy. But are Buddhist monks the ones walking for peace, or are we the ones living? And are we truly walking in the right direction? We realize that although we do many things considered right, suffering often silently repeats, as if something within us has not yet been clearly seen. In Buddhism, the Buddha taught that all paths of transforming suffering do not begin with action, but begin with right seeing. That seeing is called right view, not only to believe, but to illuminate the entire path of practice ahead, making us clear-minded as we walk, so that even in difficulty, we remain peaceful like those Buddhist monks. That is the middle way, with a clear right view that guides us toward wholesome actions and inner peace, like these Buddhist monks walking for peace. Hello my friend, I am Tan from the channel at Lotuszentan 6. Let us watch until the end of the video to give ourselves a correct understanding of the path we are choosing in life, so we can always be more peaceful and happy. And if you find the video helpful, please leave a subscribe, a like, and a share to accompany the channel with many more beneficial videos. First, we need to recognize clearly that when our way of seeing is still distorted, we may walk very fast but become more and more exhausted. Because many times we are walking in emotions with ignorant awareness without realizing it. We only recognize this when we ourselves step onto unwholesome paths and receive negative results, causing both body and mind to become weary. There are times when we are stuck in chaotic work, conflicting relationships, and intense tensions that make the pressure of life constantly weigh on our body and mind. Now let us return to the breath. Inhale one breath so that calmness, clarity, and peace return to us. Inhale. Gently follow the breath as it flows through your nose, fills your chest, and reaches down to your belly. Exhale. Feel the breath leaving through your nose, and notice your belly softening and sinking. At such moments, we need to slow down to find a slow breath to calm the mind and see what is happening. When we are clear, we will have a direction to resolve things, and that is when right view is most needed. Do you notice that Buddhist monks walk slowly in difficult conditions? They are slow, but they have time to look directly at what the environment is affecting in their body and mind, allowing them to adjust themselves and become more and more stable. When the way of seeing becomes correct, even if the steps are slow, each step carries inner stability and ease. Right view is not a religious belief to cling to, nor a philosophy to debate right and wrong with others. Right view is the ability to look directly at the truth of oneself, right in this body, this mind, and this moment. It is a way of seeing not obscured by temporary emotions, of avoiding discomfort or clinging to pleasure, nor clinging to old memories, long-standing habits, or blind beliefs that lead to mistaken results. When we have not yet seen where we are wrong, the result is continuous arising of suffering that we do not understand. and then we continue to react according to old calculated emotions, entering the same familiar path. Buddhist monks walk for peace with open hearts because they are observing with clear awareness what arises in their body and mind. And whether suffering or happiness appears, they still orient their mind toward happiness and peace. When we see clearly, suffering is no longer an enemy to eliminate, but becomes something to be fully understood through each process of transformation. Right view helps us realize that suffering is not a punishment of life, but a way to clearly see the signs of cause and effect always operating. In the light of right view, we begin to understand the law of cause and effect silently operating in every small thought and reaction. Each arising thought, each spoken word, each action performed is receiving a result of past causes that were planted, and at the same time planting a seed for the present that will bear fruit in the future. Without right view, we usually only look at external results and cannot see the deep inner causes within the mind. With right view, we gradually return to look directly at the root of suffering, instead of constantly blaming circumstances and others. The Buddha clearly pointed out that the cause of suffering lies in craving, in stubborn clinging to old habits, and in ignorance operating very subtly within us. Right view does not make us pessimistic about life, but helps us be clear enough to no longer deceive our own emotions. When we look at Buddhist monks walking, we realize they are seeing through and facing impermanent life with deep awareness. Each step in the cold helps them observe all the changes in their mind and body, bringing their emotions back to peace and harmony and spreading it to everyone. At this moment, impermanence is no longer a distant concept, but something they clearly feel in each breath, coming and going without pause. Inhale, gently follow the breath as it flows through your nose, fills your chest, and reaches down to your belly. Exhale, feel the breath leaving through your nose, and notice your belly softening and sinking. One slow, gentle, deep breath helps us realize that we can clearly and wisely see situations, instead of being confused and choosing according to old negative habits. Thus, right view helps us understand that clinging too much to material pleasures and conveniences also creates suffering. Because even when we have enough, every feeling fades and no sensation lasts forever. When we look more deeply, we begin to gradually let go of the notion of a fixed self. A self that wants to possess and tightly hold everything for itself. A rigid self that controls everything within us. Therefore, monks do not choose to possess wealth or indulge in material comforts, nor do they worry about an unborn future. But they let go of both past and future to see and choose to observe everything unfolding peacefully in the present. This body and mind are seen as a flow of conditions arising and ceasing, not an unchanging self to be held onto. Right view, therefore, does not push us away from life, but helps us live in the world with wisdom and balance. We no longer fall into the extreme of chasing indulgence, nor do we force ourselves into asceticism to seek liberation. Only the breath is the companion that always walks with us through every emotional path, so we should cherish it. Inhale, gently follow the breath as it flows through your nose, fills your chest, and reaches down to your belly. Exhale, feel the breath leaving through your nose, and notice your belly softening and sinking. When there is clear observation, you can realize that a tired and weak breath cannot bring deep insight. And a chaotic breath cannot bring the firm mental strength of clear right view. An angry or fearful breath, when right view is lacking, causes people to misperceive reality. Because at that moment, you allow temporary emotions and hidden desires to guide every decision in life. Old habits repeating again and again obscure our way of seeing, making us believe that familiar reactions are our true self. Because we do not see the cause of suffering clearly, we easily blame circumstances and others, instead of returning to look deeply into the mind. Buddhist monks walk because they do not cling to what ordinary people define as suffering. Such as loss of material possessions, loss of loved ones, or even money and status. They know that if they still cling to these defined possessions, they will come back to seek us, pushing us to obey and pursue them, like innate desire ropes tightly bound, causing pain when we cannot attain them. Desire always promises quick pleasure when clinging to comfort, but behind it is often prolonged emptiness and exhaustion when lacking. Emotions arise and pass very quickly, but without right view, we cling to them as an ultimate truth. We repeat old habits that lead to old suffering, even though deep inside we always wish to let go and have a different life, yet cannot leave. When right view begins to arise, the meditation practitioner no longer seeks to avoid suffering or suppress the emotions that are present. Instead, they learn to sit still and look directly into body and mind, observing the breath and the body-mind so that the truth can speak for itself. Inhale, gently follow the breath as it flows through your nose, fills your chest, and reaches down to your belly. Exhale, feel the breath leaving through your nose, and notice your belly softening and sinking. Seeing correctly helps us no longer fear suffering. Because we understand that it is only a natural phenomenon arising and ceasing, like the breath that brings emotions and then lets them go. Buddhist monks choose to face phenomena directly with clear right view and walking meditation, standing meditation, lying meditation, and sitting meditation. Each time of sitting meditation or walking meditation becomes an opportunity to learn, no longer a form of forcing or a search for results. Through right view, we gradually see clearly the causes of unease and learn how to let go at the right place, the right time, and the right degree. Diligent effort is thus nurtured steadily, without haste, without laziness, and without giving up. On this path of practice, the image of Buddhist monks walking for peace becomes a vivid lesson in right view. They are not only walking on the ground, but are walking deeply into each mindful moment of their body and mind. In each step touching the earth, Buddhist monks place full attention on the sensations occurring in the body. They maintain awakened right view to see clearly within and beyond all fatigue, pain, or comfort. Because everything is clearly known, without resistance, without embellishment, without avoidance. As they walk, they quietly observe the breath and the thoughts arising and dissolving in the mind. Through this continuous observation, body and mind are gradually seen as they truly are. no longer identified as a self or clung to through habits of owning suffering, and the clinging to difficulty naturally fades. When unpleasant emotions arise, right view helps them understand that these are only temporary phenomena arising and ceasing. Mindfulness in each step helps Buddhist monks not be swept away by praise or blame, favorable or unfavorable conditions, or crowd reactions. Through each walking step, perception becomes clearer, helping distinguish reality from old habitual reactions. And through right view, they know when to stop in order to adjust body and mind. The outer path of peace gradually becomes an inner path of peace, nourished by correct understanding, and that inner peace then radiates outward. This journey is not meant to prove anything, but is a silent yet profound practice of walking meditation in each step. Practicing meditation on the foundation of right view helps us see reality clearly, so that each step in life is no longer vague or misguided, but directly adjusts our own body and mind. When seeing is correct, difficulties are no longer obstacles to avoid, but become a natural part of the path we are walking. Like the monks walking for peace, we learn to step slowly, step steadily, and not give up in the face of fatigue or doubt. Because training requires perseverance and transformation through different stages of development. Right view helps us understand that stopping to observe is not a retreat, but a preparation for the next step forward. Through regular meditation practice, the mind gradually becomes clear, calm enough to face challenges without losing direction. Whether the road is long, the sun harsh, or cold winds push against tired steps, a person with right view continues to walk with understanding, compassion, and observation. Each time we overcome difficulty, our trust in the right path is strengthened more deeply in the mind, reinforcing inner peace and spreading that happiness outward. Practicing meditation with right view helps us not only seek peace at the destination, but cultivate peace in each step. When body and mind are illuminated by correct seeing, stability naturally arises without effort. We begin to understand that peace does not come from changing the world, but from how we are seeing the world we belong to. Right view helps us see clearly whether we are reacting or observing, running away or staying with the truth. In each mindful moment, we learn not to add old stories onto what is happening. Like the monks walking for peace, we do not need to walk faster than others, only to walk truthfully with ourselves. Each breath is an interesting experience of observation within body and mind, where emotions come and go while body and mind remain at ease. Inhale. Gently follow the breath as it flows through your nose, fills your chest, and reaches down to your belly. Exhale. Feel the breath leaving through your nose, and notice your belly softening and sinking. Each mindful step cuts off the habits of ignorance that once led us astray in the past. When we look back at the path we have traveled, we realize we have not defeated anyone, but have only come to understand ourselves more deeply. Right view does not make life less challenging, but helps us no longer fear those challenges. From correct seeing, right thought, right mindfulness, and right effort are naturally cultivated. The path of practice, therefore, no longer feels fragmented, but becomes a continuous flow of awareness. Each day of living becomes a day of practice. Each step becomes a silent lesson in observation and understanding. And And like the journey of monks walking for peace, each person's path of awakening is also formed through persistent mindfulness in each moment of recognition. There is no need for grand ideals, only the need to return to correct seeing in very small moments. When the inner eyes open, the path ahead is no longer dark, even if we do not yet know where the destination lies. We continue walking because we clearly see the path we are on and are at peace with it, even as everything continues to change. The journey in the game of breath will become more and more fascinating if you truly cherish it. This practice, just like a habit, is a key to unlocking every doorway within your body and mind. So keep watching and keep practicing with me in this video and the ones to come. If you have any thoughts or reflections, feel free to leave a comment below. And if this video helped or inspired you, please click like, subscribe, and share it with others. Thank you.